All right, I'm going to do the intro this week. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Veterans History and Lyrics Podcast.
Hey, you got the name right.
I did, finally. It took me a minute. I have with me Spencer Robbins, my co-host, and I'm David Faulkner. Reason I'm doing the intro this week is this is kind of a Christmas present for my sister. And you've heard me mention my sister in several episodes.
Hello, Miss Donna. Merry
she
Christmas.
has referred some great songs to us. My sister...
4 now?
I think so. My sister was my parents' primary caregiver. They never went into a nursing home except for a little short. My dad did a little stint as a recovery during COVID. It was a weird thing, but he came home. I got to spend time with my dad before he passed.
I actually thought your dad had passed away before I met you. So, okay.
No. But my sister was a primary caregiver, and this is for her, just to say thank you. And, all right, I did get to spend the last month and a half with my dad before he passed. My sister was still there helping, again, primary caregiver. But she has kind of dug into our history thing. My father's favorite song was called The Death of Little Kathy Fiscus, recorded by Jimmie Osborne. Jimmie Osborne was from Winchester, Kentucky. He was an early country artist. My dad was born in that area. I still have family in the Winchester area, right outside of Lexington. But he actually, I had to find this song for him. Anybody who's old enough to know what Napster was.
Good Lord.
It was a music sharing website where you could go on and find songs that people had put on their computer and you could actually pull them down. My dad had me find this song, The Death of Little Kathy Fiscus. Now, do we want to start the song or...
but no, you actually wanted me to go into a little bit of Jimmie Osborne, so let's go into a little bit of Jimmie Osborne. So, for Jimmie Osborne, he actually died on December 26th of 1958.
I know how.
He did.
Self-inflicted gunshot.
Yep.
Yeah.
At the age of 35.
Yes. Yeah. Tragic.
Tragic. Very, very tragic in the fact that he did that. But born in 1923 in Winchester, Kentucky, he grew up loving to sing and play the guitar. His dad bought him a fiddle, but Jimmie asked him to take it back and trade it in for a guitar because he wanted to play the guitar. He did not want to play the fiddle.
Right.
Graduated high school in 1940. He married a pretty little blonde by the name of Margaret Lacey. He also entered, around the same time, he entered a contest at a nearby high school and won first prize, which soon got him a job on WLAP in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yep.
For the radio station. So, on that. In 46, he got his first big break, moved to KWKH in Shreveport, Louisiana. If not a lot of people know, on the
Eastern Seaboard,
on the east side of the Mississippi River, all of your radio stations start with your call numbers, the WKQT or where he started with. Which, let me make sure I get this right. WLAP. That meant he was on the east side of the Mississippi River. Everything on the western side of the Mississippi River starts with a K. That's the reason why.
And that went for TV as well. We were talking about
Went for
last
TV.
week.
Anything-
KTLA
Yep.
was
Anything-
television LA, the first KTLA 5 on our last episode.
Oh, yeah.
So W was the Eastern, K.
K was the western. Yep.
Right.
That's how that worked. But the home of the Louisiana Hayride.
Yes.
He worked there with the Bales brothers and traveled some 50,000 miles, making personal appearances throughout Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana. He quickly became one of the leading folk singers in the Gulf Coast area. He performed on the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee. He also performed on WLW in Cincinnati, Ohio, and WGRC in Louisville, Kentucky. Going back closer to home again.
Right.
He did a lot of DJ work back in his time
We did.
because, bouncing around from
Right.
pretty much just radio station to radio station at this point in time. He was one of the first ones that actually played the songs that most of his listeners most wanted to hear,
Right. Right.
which was also one of the starts of, well, let's play the brand new song by this person that just came out this month 50 times in an hour and make everybody pretty much, hate it at that point in time. But in 1947, he landed a recording contract with King Records in Cincinnati. After he landed that, My Heart Echoes was the first recording that he actually put out. Made it number 10 on the Billboard Jukebox charts. Then, some of his other hits was Mom is Dying Tonight, A Vacant Sign Upon My Heart, Tears of St. Anne, God Please Protect America, something that we can get into a little bit there on our own.
Right.
And his all-time greatest recording, The Death of Little Kathy Fiscus.
Right.
Which, at this point in time, I think that's going to be enough because I'm not getting into the later years of his life.
Right.
That's a little dark even for us. So, Dave, go ahead and take it away.
I will. Okay. Friday, April 9th. I want parents, all of you. You're looking over your backyard. Your kids are playing. Barbara, Kathy, who's 3. Barbara was a few years older. 2 cousins. They're playing. Their mother looks out. They're playing, and one of them disappears.
Just running through the backyard, and then
Yeah,
all of a sudden,
and
just
gone.
no
Just
longer there.
like a video game. I mean, just went away. That would be little Kathy. She was 3. She's born in August of 45, August 1st of 45. 3-year-old little blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl playing in the yard with her sister Barbara, known as Babs, and a couple of cousins. And she fell into a well, a 14-inch well. Now, think about the inside of your steering wheel. That's a 14-inch circle. This 3-year-old girl just fell in. This isn't the stone-lined well.
I'm probably
Think of-
cutting that out.
This is a 14-inch well casing, and so she called for help, and it doesn't go well. But the story is kind of fascinating, and we're going to get into that as we play a little bit of a song. I think.
Play a little bit of the song, or do we want to cover? This was actually one of the first live coverage.
Well, I don't know if they cover that or not. Okay.
I don't know
I'll
if they
go
covered
into
the
that.
song or not, but
I'll dig into that. Okay, and I mentioned earlier KTLA. This happened on Friday, April 8th.
yeah,
well,
it wasn't
Saturday,
actually. It wasn't last episode. It was last time we meant to record, and
Well, no, I brought up the K and W's. KTLA is the TV station in Los Angeles at this point, the predominant KT Los Angeles, television Los Angeles. So it was early, and they got to kind of pick their call letters.
But
Now,
in the 1940s, yeah.
Right. Television's pretty much brand new. In fact, in the larger Los Angeles County area. All right, this happened in San Marino, which is still in Los Angeles County, but it's northwest of the city.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a suburb, but so KTLA has got these new trucks with a transmitter, and they have got, by kind of a freak of the earth, they can hit this new tower to broadcast. It was an experiment. It was truly an experiment, the whole rescue attempt. So they sent out a crew on Saturday, April 9th. They had two reporters, and I probably have their names written, and they were walking around during the rescue attempt trying to, just interview people and talk to them. And they ran for 27 hours, basically. Live broadcast for 27 hours. Now, there were only 20,000 TV sets in Los Angeles at this point, in homes. But
Okay.
the crazy thing is, this story got so big, so fast, that appliance vendors that had TVs in their stores would turn them out to the window, and there would be crowds.
And people were watching from outside of the
and there
streets.
would be crowds all over any bar that had a TV, and that was coming in to be a thing. They were packed, people watching this, and it was live the entire time for 27 hours. They were live on TV. Now, this is the first live coverage of a news event ever done on television.
Well, yeah.
Which is, it was...
I mean, once again, we're talking about, what, 1940?
1949.
1949. Okay.
Yep. So they got there on April 9th in the morning, and they went through April 10th when they finally, at the end of the story. But this was covered live on TV. That had never been done before.
No, it did not.
Again, that was KTLA. And there's somewhere in here. Oh, there's a book. William Deverell. And if you get the chance to, you either read the book or...
What's the name of the book?
All right. The book is Kathy Fiscus, A Tragedy That Transfixed the Nation. There is actually a...
Look for the link for that down below in the comments.
There's also an interview...
Description, not comments.
...with William Deverell by a KTLA reporter 50 years on. And he's a historian. William Deverell is a professor of history at the University of Southern California. But he wrote a book about this. He lives in that area in San Marino, California. And I haven't read the book. I'm going to have to get it now because I have to. But I did watch the interview with the KTLA reporter. It's about a 20-minute. It's on YouTube. It is worth watching. William Deverell really dug into this, and he talked about just the coverage. And okay, I'm going to back up a little bit and talk about kind of how it got there.
Within coverage got there.
Yeah, how it ended up getting covered like it was. A 3-year-old girl falls in a well. It's tragic.
But at one point, William Deverell says it was between 5,000 and 9,000, and there were reports of as many 10,000 people at the site watching the rescue attempt. People were in trees. It turned into.
But how long did it take for, the actual rescuer or attempting rescuers to show up?
They were rescuers there within a half hour. I mean, but they couldn't form a solid plan. That was part of the other problem. All right. Let me back up a little bit. When Kathy fell in that well, she fell 90 feet. Okay. Now the well is not a 90-foot well. It's substantially more than that. But it had a turn in it, and when she fell to the turn.
Okay.
Her mother and the first rescuers on the scene could hear her crying, calling out for her mother. So, okay, oh shit, we've got to get her out.
At that point in time, yeah.
So they first off, they don't know how far she is down. So
One of the other things that's pulling up, for me in my mind at this point in time, is, with it being a 14-inch well, first thing that pulls up in my mind is, when they got there, was mom half stuck in the well, or
no, she had contacted the sheriff's office. Police were the first to respond, then fire. And they were just trying to figure out what, because they could hear her. What do we do?
Other that I have on that is, this is the 1940s. The well was put in significantly before that. It had a turn at 90 feet. How did they turn it?
This
is also just one of my own.
What I suspect is they were just using well rods, and they just, once you get that far down, these well rods are kind of drift, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
But it was not a straight fall.
See if we can't get Randy to
So,
a little bit on that one. But
so within a very short time, there are rescuers on scene. Okay.
Yes. I mean,
Fire department,
30
sheriff's
minutes
office.
later, yeah.
Yes.
Pretty
And
quick
they're trying to
response.
figure out, what do we do? Well, the first thing they tried, they dropped a rope down, hoping she could grab on and they would pull her up. But apparently, when she tried to grab, she actually went farther down the well.
Ooh.
So,
Well,
they had to come up with some new plans.
if you fall and you're not expecting it, your hands are down by your sides. So
Well,
going down, and
well, all right.
if you move and wiggle around a little bit, and then you go to reach for something that's coming down, then it makes you a thinner profile. So yeah, you can.
All right. Well, what I'm thinking is, and I have no idea of the biophysics of this, but I suspect because she was out running play and her hands were probably up, and when she went that well, I suspect she stopped when she did because, and again, I have no idea that this is true, but if you're running and you've got one leg behind you and you're running and you fall in a hole, one foot goes down, the other foot folds up under, and your hands go up.
Yeah.
That's just what I see in my head happening. So she's got her hands up, but she goes down farther. Now, again, this turns into kind of a literal circus. Because of those 10,000 people that were there viewing, some of their ideas were they actually brought the Thin Man from a traveling circus that was in town to see if he would go feet first to try and pull her. So one of the freaks out of the 1940s, freak shows were still a thing, and there's a Thin Man.
Yeah.
And they also brought up the idea of using little people. In fact, a couple of the Munchkins from
let's redo this and
that's what they were called in the movie.
Called at that point. Well, they brought up the actual Munchkins from the Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
Okay.
They were actually trying to get, because they were actors in Hollywood. Remember, this is right outside Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still
They approached some of the little people who played the Munchkins in that movie.
Okay.
To potentially do that, but
I was thinking we might be getting into another.
No, it was they were, for the most part, they were too big around. The Thin Man from the circus was, and David.
But then if they lower him in feet first.
No.
They were planning on lowering him in head
first. And the Thin Man from the circus was actually considered, but as an adult, he was still too big.
Wider in the shoulders.
And Kathy's father, David, shot that and said, no, we're not putting a person down that well. So then they decided, okay, we've got to dig shafts. And they brought in basically kind of two teams. And there was equipment that came in from several surrounding towns and counties to dig a hole. They had bulldozers and trucks and steam shovels. And so one side, the other side was boring a smaller hole. These were
like using
well diggers and septic diggers who were used to digging very fast holes.
Okay.
So they can dig faster, but they're not digging these gigantic holes.
Yeah, they're not digging,
right.
Like 3 foot wide hole.
They're just drilling.
They're using like an 18-inch auger or something like that in order to drill down beside it.
I don't know what equipment, but I know it was well diggers and septic diggers dug on one side, and there was basically a monstrous construction crew digging a huge pit on the other side. And you can see pictures if you look online.
How did they?
They had steam shovels.
I'm trying to figure out. Okay, well, the pipe and everything is sticking up. How did they stabilize the pipe to me? But anyway.
Well, they were several feet off. But what the idea was to dig a lateral shaft and then dig over, because they knew how far down she was. So you dig, and both of them were going down. And I never could figure out.
How did they know how far down she was?
Because they finally dropped a line down and they could feel it.
Okay, so they basically
they knew.
Or something like
they knew where she was. But like I said, her father David had already said, no, I'm not going to risk putting somebody hooked to their feet, going down head first in this tiny hole.
Yeah, because all of a sudden rope breaks or something.
Something
and cuts loose, and now we've got
two.
Yeah.
So they finally reached her on Sunday,
and it was.
She went down Friday, April 8th, 1949. And
so it was Sunday when they finally got down to the 90 feet or
100 feet. And
because she slid a little bit more.
Right. And the first person to actually break through the well casing was a family doctor. He'd gone down with the crew, and I think it was in the larger hole. I never could figure that out from the research I did, but they finally reached her. The family doctor realized that they couldn't get her out the way she was, so they lowered a rope, and that's where I'm thinking she may have had a foot folded when she went down.
Mm-hmm. They
had to break out more of the well casing to reposition her to take her out.
Okay.
She was deceased when they found her, when they got to her.
That's Number one, that is absolutely horrible. But
Yeah, and there's, I mean, imagine you're sitting on your porch watching this rescue attempt. There's 10,000 people.
not only just that, but imagine, sitting there on your porch or looking out your kitchen window and watching the kids play out in the yard, and then all of a sudden one just is gone. That is something to me as a parent I would never want to have happen.
Once I got to the 100-foot mark, and I said it was a family doctor, it was Dr. Robert McCulloch, was able to free her from a lateral shaft, and a contractor, Bill Yancey, brought her to the surface. There was no autopsy performed, but the family physician had said that she died of asphyxiation. When she fell, she couldn't breathe. But we wrote the book. William Devereaux actually interviewed people who were there, and they said when they brought her up, she was wet head to toe, so she may well have drowned as well. So it's just, it's what it is. It's a tragedy that gripped the nation, especially LA, because again, it was being broadcast live. The entire thing was being broadcast live. But this hit the wires and absolutely went wild. And we're going to talk in a minute about a different story later on. But
you're talking about little baby Jessica now.
Yes, I am.
Well, before we start going
let's play some of this song.
Let's play some of the song just to be able to hear it, because it is a good song. I think it is a good accounting from what I've heard. So, but once again, this is it's a 1940s country song.
Yes.
So there's a lot of twang. There's a lot of.
He wrote the song. It was released in 1949. So this happened April 10th.
He released it
in June. I think it was June or July of 1949.
Yeah, it wasn't but a few months later.
Months. Yeah.
But getting into the song. He's got the date right. Okay, so far he's got the date right. He's got the date right.
Well, yeah.
The only thing is, he's talking about, at this point, a 3.5-year-old. So the so pure and so kind part right there. Who do you know at 3.5 that's
a little blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby? Yeah, she's 3.5-year-old. She's a baby. Yeah, she's pure. Nothing. I have no. I cannot dig into that.
No, and none of us really can at this point.
Yeah,
we're not. We didn't know her, so
right.
She wasn't there. It's so sad to think of this tragic affair.
Yeah, that's kind of.
So far
running in the yard, and where the hell?
All of her playmates are out there running with her. They're older. They're going to be faster than she is, and all of a sudden they turn around and she's not there. Yeah, that nothing at this point from the history that we've talked about that you found out. Nothing in this song so far.
It was not missing anything. Nope. We're on a pretty good scale.
We're on a pretty good scale so far. But if we have 2 in a row, that's
Let's hear it.
okay.
Just like a beast in a forest that day, the abandoned well took Kathy away.
I've listened to this song a lot over the past few days, and I like that line right there.
Just like a beast.
Just like a beast, the well took Kathy away. He's doing a little not anthropomorphizing.
No.
No, there's a anthropomorphizing is
Given human attributes, but
it's giving human attributes to something that's a lot. I
he's
can't remember
giving
the word, but yes, he's
animal attributes to a something-
giving an inanimate object
right.
animate
Right.
traits. I cannot remember the damn words for it right now, but I'll throw it up here just to be.
I can't remember. I know what you. Yeah.
Far over 2 days, the well was her tomb. Everyone kept praying to get her out soon.
Okay. For well over 2 days, the well was her tomb. You said
April 8th.
it was April 8th on
She fell in the
Friday.
afternoon. Friday, April 8th. When they finally got her out, everything I've read is around 10 o'clock Sunday night. So
Yeah, for well over 2 days.
Yeah.
So far, we're on track.
and KTLA didn't show up until Saturday morning. And they broadcast for 27 hours.
27
So,
hours.
so yes, it's 2 days plus, basically.
Yeah. Well over 2 days.
Yep.
Thousands were there, from far and from near.
Talked about that, too.
They struggled against sadness and fear. But after 2 days, their hopes grew so weak. They called down to Kathy, but she never did speak.
Right.
Calling down to her after that long a point in time, she never did
Never did speak.
speak. She
Okay.
never replied to their calls.
The first night, that Friday night, they could hear her crying, calling out for her mother. Friday night was the last time they heard her call out. They kept yelling down, hoping she was just weak, cold.
Mhm.
They kept yelling down, but
No.
the last time they heard from her was Friday night.
Was that when they lowered the rope down to try and get her?
Well, yeah, it was somewhere around that time. That all happened on Friday evening as the original rescue attempts happened.
So yeah, the last time they
So-
heard from her was Friday evening when they tried to
Yeah.
lower the rope down. So once again, so far we're not that far off, but
We're not. And,
we are still talking about a very
and they were. He mentioned thousands. Like I said, there were as many as the newspaper reports and local reports said there were as many as 10,000 people. Now, again, this became such a huge thing. Construction companies came in. There were. I wrote the numbers down.
Okay, somebody going to the bathroom.
They used drills, derricks, bulldozers, trucks. They also had 3 large cranes and 50 floodlights from Hollywood. Again, remember, this is right next to Hollywood.
Right next to it.
There were studios that sent over these giant floodlights and the power, I guess, generators to run these, to keep that site running.
Well, you've seen the highway construction lights and everything.
Right.
That it's the generator with
Right.
the lights that fold above top.
So-
of it. That's actually a Hollywood invention.
Right.
To have better lighting for while they were filming
Well,
and everything out there.
That's
at that point.
they had 50 of those floodlights around the site to light this construction
So
site.
they could keep on working
Right.
all through the night.
Day and night, and they worked day and night.
Not. By the way, if you were noticing the empty chair in here between us, it's Ranger Mike was supposed to be joining us again tonight, and
Love you, Ranger.
I'm not gonna have to blur that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe not. Whatever. I might just blur that just for the hell.
Okay.
But yeah, we got seated in here for Ranger Mike. He was supposed to meet us here when at 6 o'clock. He let us know that he was still on his job site over in Banner Elk, off Beach Mountain, or on Beach Mountain in Banner Elk. There we are, and he just still ain't been able to make it here. So we know life happens. That's the reason why this past episode wasn't released until Sunday, other than Wednesday. But this next one,
Right.
I'm putting this one up just for your sister on Christmas Eve.
Sorry for that.
Even, excuse me,
It made me cry.
even though I have to, getting back into the song.
After working so hard, both day and night,
The lights.
digging for hours, she came into sight. The little garden was bare, her life it was gone. Now in San Marino, there's a heartbroken home.
Now in San Marino, there's a heartbroken home.
Right.
But with that, he says, by the time that they found her, she was gone.
Right.
Working by day and by night.
Hence
were-
the floodlights.
Hence the floodlights and everything
Right.
else that was going on at that point in time. He doesn't mention the floodlights and everything that was there or anything like that, but
Right.
he's telling the story of trying
Right.
to rescue the little girl. Yeah, it's
Right.
not. He's not going to go into detail
Right.
for
Right.
all that specifics. And we got about 32 seconds left in this one.
I'm sure she's an angel in God's peaceful home.
Country in the all of your early country, which I consider pretty much 20s to 50s, it was all very heavily Christian influenced.
Oh, absolutely.
It-
Well, yes, for the
And
most part.
And at this point, for the most part, but at this point in time, it was the very predominant religion in
Right.
the United States.
Because this music came out of the Deep South. And, right. If you've ever been to Winchester, Lexington, Kentucky, that's still Deep South. It's not Deep South, but it's damn South.
The Deep
That's where
South.
my dad is from. That's where my dad was from.
The
Plain
Deep South.
Lexington is home,
The
but
Deep South does not necessarily rely on, where the Mason-Dixon line was or
Right.
anything like that. If you were in Kentucky, West Virginia,
that's
anything at that point in time,
you were
any
South.
of Appalachia, you were Deep South.
So,
And once again, it's known as the Bible Belt now
right.
because
And
one of these days we're probably going to have to get into that and why in the world it's called the Bible Belt and all that. But
we'll get there. Finish it out because
Yeah.
I've got
Playing with children in a mansion of gold. As
Yeah. That was my father's favorite song. Now there's
we said in the last one that it was a master class in how to do a historical ballad. This song is not a ballad.
Well, kind of. It is a ballad.
It's kind of a ballad, but it's not. Instead of it just being, pretty much talking / singing your way through. This one actually has more. It has more rhythm to it. It has more.
This is more. It is a ballad, but okay, I have at least 2 points I have to cover.
Okay. Point number one.
The irony. The
irony.
There's an irony here.
Okay.
David Fiscus was a superintendent at the local water and telephone company.
Oh, that irony. Okay.
And he had, a few months before, testified before the state legislature about capping abandoned wells. It wasn't about safety. It was about pollution because of the oil. There was still oil being produced in California at that point. But he had, a few months before, spoken before the California legislature about legislating capping wells, abandoned water wells.
To reduce pollution.
I
bet after this he had a completely different reason to cap.
Okay, well, of course they did. And after the incident, laws were passed requiring the sealing of abandoned wells. These laws were called, it was a bunch of laws, but it was the Kathy Fiscus law.
Okay.
So, yeah. To me, it's so ironic that had that passed, they could have just pumped concrete in those wells and none of this would have happened. Now, Kathy's mother, William Devereux, I think he said that he interviewed Kathy's mother.
The way that kind of flowed out was William Devereux was.
He's the one that wrote the book.
He's the one that wrote the book. But he's
Kathy
the one that
Fiscus,
said
tragedy
that his mother or that her mother said.
Yes, he interviewed Kathy's mother at some point, and she said the one thing she was glad of was that the Kathy Fiscus law was passed, and it prevented other
tragedies like this one.
Right. And all right,
but still, the woman lost her.
Right.
3.5-year-old daughter.
Right. And losing a child, I've please no. Now, little Kathy Fiscus, written and recorded in 1949 by Jimmie Osborne. This song sold over 1 million copies. As far as I know, it was his only million seller. Cool thing about that is he donated half the proceeds to the Fiscus family from that song.
Now we're getting back into
the
artist Fitzgerald thing, where Gordon Lightfoot wrote all the proceeds from the song over to the families.
It was an amazing. All right. I'm going to give this. All right, damn. All right. Historically, this song
wait.
We're not digging in there yet.
Nope. Let's finish all of the history and everything first before we get into your ratings. Before we talk about the accuracy of the song to the actual historical events, let's finish talking about the history first.
Okay, I'm in.
Okay, so you actually brought up a little bit ago the baby Jessica going into the well,
Oh, yes. Okay.
which was where?
1987. It was in Midland, Texas in 1987. Baby Jessica, 18 months old. Now, so this is probably going to be in most of our, I don't know, it was definitely in my lifetime, but more of our lifetimes.
Well,
she fell in.
me and Ranger Mike were around 2.
Baby Jessica.
I just thought about it. I'm probably gonna just take a fucking picture of Ranger Mike sitting there
put his
holding
face-
a beer
just
and
put his face.
and just put him right here.
But yeah, 1987, Baby Jessica, and this almost replicated because this was on TV 24/7.
Yeah, the entire
Now,
time. As soon
18
as I
months
said
old.
something about this to my
Je-
mom, my dad, a couple other people, they're like, "Oh, you mean Baby Jessica?" And I'm like,
No.
That was 87." And then they're like, "Oh no, we remember watching that on TV."
Right. All right. Okay. So that her name's Morales now. Yeah. She was Jessica McClure. 18 months old, fell down an 8-inch well. She fell 22 feet. It took about 22 hours to dig down and get her out, and they rescued her. She lived. She's still alive, has a family.
And
I hope she's doing, and she still is referred to. I actually read up on this.
she's still referred to as Baby
And people
Jessica.
say, "Oh, you're Baby Jessica," because
Yes.
when she says, "Yeah, I'm the one that fell down the well,"
Yeah, they immediately go, "Oh, you're Baby Jessica." Yes.
but this came out with a much better ending. Sweet. But
well,
again,
there's also, a 70-foot difference on
well,
where she
there's
fell
that.
to.
Well, there's that, but she fell in an 8-inch well casing at 18 months old. Dude, that's
Half the
Well,
age, half the size.
we have a 5-inch shell we've shown before. Yeah, I can't. Again, as a parent, I can't even imagine
Do you
that
want me to
torment.
go? Do you want me to go get the?
No,
I was about
but
to say I can easily go up to the bar and grab the tape measure that's behind the bar.
but we did have. So there is a more modern case with a much better ending
Yes, very much so.
with Baby Jessica. And yes, I remember that. I was working, and again, it was broadcast almost live the entire time they were trying to get this baby out of that well.
Yes.
But imagine that in 1949, and you can pull up pictures of the cameras. The cameras were
Oh, the
2
cameras
feet
in-
tall.
yeah.
They were
huge.
gigantic. Had multiple lenses sticking out, and they were beaming to a tower. And this was broadcast. This was the first live broadcast of a news event, which kind of made it famous.
Well, of course,
But again, there were only 20,000 TV sets. Think about Los
20,000
Angeles County.
TV sets in Los Angeles County at
Yeah.
that point in time.
It was, well, TV was brand new. Think about that. And
We're also
TVs
talking
were
about
typically 13 inches. They were round tubes. They didn't have the square corners we have today.
no
And they were $600. All right.
$600 in the
In
1940s.
1949.
That's
that-
equal to thousands
Yes.
of dollars today.
Yes. So,
Yes.
hence, there were, but one of the things that did happen after this is TV sales skyrocketed after this event. In TV shops, appliance stores, who were typically the ones selling TVs, their sales skyrocketed because people wanted to be able to be informed
as
right
to
away.
the news as to what was happening.
And then we come up with the nightly news. It all
Yeah.
comes about from A baby falling in a well. And
So a baby falling in a well is the reason why we get Walter Cronkite 48 hours.
and we're not
All
even
of
going
our-
to we're not going
The
to
6
talk about
o'clock news, the 10 o'clock news, the 11 o'clock news.
when we're not going to talk about Ted Turner 24-hour news cycle clips.
No.
But honestly,
Then we start getting into
The-
some things
the
that's definitely going to
live-
get some people heated.
Yeah, but the whole live news, our reporter on site, that came from this event. And Donna,
All right. Yes, Miss Donna.
Merry Christmas.
And once again, thank you for sending us all the wonderful songs that you have. Merry Christmas to you. And I do hope that, this pays homage to your dad's favorite song. So, getting through all that.
I'll let you close.
Okay, well, we're going to close, but now we have to go into what does this rate on your scale?
Okay, this is a solid 8
It's a solid 8.
because it doesn't miss. Nothing that's mentioned is poetic license. It just doesn't come up to the scale. It doesn't.
It doesn't come up to the scale of the level of detail that the last one did.
Exactly.
Okay, so
it's still a solid
or the Evan Fitzgerald
Right.
or
Reagan Girls. It's still a solid song.
no, actually,
It doesn't fail on any of the history. It just doesn't bring enough history. But that's the nature of country, 1940s country ballads.
And that what I just got right there, Ranger Mike just now got off of work. He's still a good 45 minutes to an hour away. I'm just gonna take a random picture of him and throw it up right here in the middle of it, where he's just sitting there like holding a beer the entire time, going.
We're gonna bring Ranger Mike in.
We've been trying to bring Ranger Mike in for the past 3 episodes, no, 2 episodes now, but ever since 3 episodes ago, there we go.
I wanted to, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to dedicate this one to my sister, Donna Ray. I love you. Thank you. You gotta do it.
Definitely, thank you. But, ladies and gentlemen, are we closing out now?
Yeah.
All right, closing out now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today on the Veterans History and Lyrics Podcast. I am Spencer Robbins.
And I'm Dave Faulkner.
If you are listening to us here on the YouTubes, please drop a comment down below, hit that like button. If you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and the like and the notification bell right beside it so you know whenever we drop new content. If you are listening to us on one of the other podcasting services, please, by all means, leave a like and a review on that, and that's one of the best ways you can help us get out there to the rest of them. As well as tell your friends about us. If you run across somebody that you think might be interested in what we're throwing out there, please, by all means, tell them about us. Tell them how in the hell they can find us. We will be dropping links in the description and everything down below, as well as I started us an Instagram.
We're grammars. Whatever. I don't know.
Whatever in the hell it is. And is it
I don't
symbol
know.
for Instagram or anyway? If you're on Instagram, put whatever symbol in before it that you need to find on Instagram. I'm pretty sure I'll have it and actually link it up here and have it down in the description down below when I actually post this episode up. But we are on Instagram. Pretty much what I'm throwing out there right now is updates to the recording studio. I put out the first one just to say, hey, we're here. It's literally just the logo. Since then I've put out.
I'll let him finish.
Yeah, we're old. We have to pee a lot. But on Instagram now, I've actually put in an update of what the room in my basement that's going to be the recording studio looks like looked like beforehand, what it looks like now after I've done some work down in there, And I'm going to start trying to keep everybody updated on that instance there until we actually get moved into it. And at that point in time, I might also go ahead and, put in there when we have to strategically transport equipment to an alternate location with the Marine and a couple other things from here at the VFW that will all be, by all means, be brought back to the VFW. But we might just kind of use it for some of our filming things. Other than that, we hope that you enjoyed what we put out here today. If you do, by all means, drop a like, drop a comment, tell us what you like, tell us what we can work on. If you leave a dislike, please leave a comment telling us why in the world you didn't like this video, and let us know how we can make it better and what else we can do. As well as if you have any suggestions for what we can do. We still have to do an episode on the Battle of New Orleans. That has been the #1 most requested thing for us to do so far. But if you have anything like that you can add into this, please, by all means, drop it in the comments down below. Let us know what in the world's going on with it. Let us know what you'd like to hear us do in the future. Also, we're going to make sure that we get this asshole in on a couple other videos that we can actually have him sitting here other than me just putting up a picture of him in the background with him going. If I can find him, if I can get a picture of him doing like the Buddy Christ, that's what I'm going to have in pretty much the entire damn video. But other than that, I am Spencer Robbins.
And
Merry Christmas, everybody. Donna Ray, I love you. This one's for you. And I'm Dave Faulkner.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope y'all have a nice time, and we'll see you next time.